FBI background check. Can you remove arrest data from your FBI background check? We're talking about the FBI identity history summary. And that's a question that a lot of people have that are American that are applying for second citizenship or residency outside of the United States. And the reason is because for Americans, the document that other countries typically request, the police record, is your FBI background check. So obviously people are very interested in what shows up on there, because if it shows a criminal record, depending on what the record is, that could jeopardize the person's eligibility. So the answer to the question is yes, sometimes you can remove the arrest data entirely, okay, meaning gone, poof, okay? And depends heavily on a couple things. Depends, first of all, on the state in which the criminal record is, and also depends on what the actual disposition of the criminal record was. So I want to go over a little case here. This is this is the document, the FBI background checks, redacted, of course, of a former client of mine who had a juvenile record in California. Okay, so this is the first FBI background check that he got run. Most of our clients want to clear their FBI background check, or at least get it improved for second citizenship or residency. And that's because we're a citizenship law firm, Malakouti Law. This client was a little bit different. He was more interested in clearing the record for future employment prospects, as well as a secondary reason for possible mobility. But the bottom line is he wanted this thing cleared. So this is his redacted FBI background check from before we went through a process to seal his petition. Okay, so you can see here, okay, this is the background check. Sex, male, race, white. Okay, most of the other identifying information is redacted. And then we get down here to the criminal arrest record. Okay, so we see here, okay, number one, arrested or received, okay, and then it shows by the Antioch Police Department, okay, and then there's a number after the Antioch Police Department. By the way, that's the originating agency ID number. That's basically the ID number that is that corresponds to the criminal justice agency that took in that person and took their fingerprints. The FBI CGIS gets criminal information from 18,000 criminal justice agencies throughout the United States. Antioch Police Department is one of them. So that's what that means on the FBI background check, in case you're wondering. So we come down here. Okay, so charge MRD 488 PC. So that's California Penal Code 488. That's petty theft. Okay. And then underneath there, it says no disposition information available. Just so you know, that's a super common reading on an FBI background check before a person has gone through to challenge it to get it updated. And what that basically shows is that the person was arrested on this date for petty theft, and then there's no information that has been transmitted to the FBI CGIS after that regarding the disposition, okay? That can also be a problem if you're American pursuing second citizenship or residency elsewhere. Why? Because that can give the impression to the adjudicator in the foreign country that this is still unresolved, okay, that there's no disposition information. Does that mean that the case is still open? Whatever, what is it? Okay, so just a little piece of information for you there. So anyway, this client of mine had a juvenile record, okay? So what we did basically is we requested the records, okay? We analyzed them, we determined that he was eligible to apply for to petition for sealing of his juvenile records, okay? So we petitioned to seal his juvenile records, okay? We went through that whole process. You start off, depends on the county, by the way, in California, the process depends on the county. In this county, we go through by basically sending the petition as well as evidence of rehabilitation to the probation department, okay? Now that had happened, I think it was 2000, so 25 years ago, this happened. We went through this process in 2024. So this was already 24 years old. Okay, so we petitioned to seal the juvenile record. Okay, we were successful. Okay, we got the sealing order. We took the sealing order. Okay, and then what we did is we requested his California Department of Justice background check. That's different than the FBI background check. Okay, we got that record, and then my office simultaneously drafted a challenge to two different agencies. One was directly to the FBI CJIS, that's the Criminal Justice Information Services. That's the agency that houses the national records and generates the FBI background check. So we sent off one challenge directly to the FBI CJIS, and we also simultaneously sent a challenge off to the California Department of Justice. Why? That's the repository, the state level repository, okay? And it's really important to know if you have anything related to updating or challenging an FBI background check, not just a juvenile rec in California. You have to understand how the record keeping works and how they're updated. The FBI CJIS for state level background checks defers to the state, okay, for challenges and updates. So what that means basically is that whether you challenge directly with the FBI CGIS, or if you challenge your FBI record with the Cal DOJ, that's a little bit non-intuitive, right? Eventually, the FBI CGIS is going to take their cues, okay? They're going to defer to whatever the California Department of Justice says about what this record should show. California Department of Justice, okay, in this case, is going to basically tell the FBI CGIS based off of California law. In California law, a juvenile record that's sealed does entitle the person to get the item removed, okay, and removed from the FBI background check as well. So anyway, we submitted these two challenges simultaneously, right? They both came back. The reason, by the way, my office submits them simultaneously is because sometimes one comes back a lot faster than the other. So just for timeliness, to save the client as much time as possible, to get the benefit, the removal as quickly as possible, or the update if it's not, if the item's not eligible for removal, we just make both challenges simultaneously. Anyway, both challenges came in. Okay, first was the Cal DOJ. So the Cal DOJ responded to us. They said that the challenge that we made has been approved, and that both the Cal DOJ records have been changed accordingly, updated accordingly, and that they have instructed the FBI CGIS to do the same to the FBI background check. Now, that's not the end, right? Because we don't take government word for it, right? So what I had my client do, as with all my clients, is to get another FBI identity history summary so that we can manually inspect it. Okay, we always do that. So he went and he did that, okay? And then we got this bad boy, okay? So this is the FBI identity history summary for him, redacted, posted with his full permission, by the way. And this is the beautiful part. This is the beautiful part. Okay, can you read this? The result of the above response is, oh, sorry, that's the wrong part. Okay, excuse me. A search of the fingerprints provided by this individual has revealed no prior arrest data at the FBI. This does not preclude further criminal history at the state or local level. That's clear. This is what an FBI background check looks like when it's completely clear, okay, when it's clean as a whistle. So this record of this guy, okay, this is the same one as the other record that we had, the old FBI identity history summary, okay? And that's the one that shows PC 488. So one FBI identity history record, identity history summary shows the record, and another one does not show the record. Why? That's because in the interim, we went and got his records, analyzed them, sent us a petition for sealing juvenile records, and then we went through a process to challenge the FBI background check, both of the Cal DOJ as well as the FBI CGIS. So these are the same persons. Okay, this is the same, same person. Now, how long did this take? This is a little bit of a lengthy process. So in this case, it took about 8 months. Okay, so we started in February of 2024. When the whole process was done from start to finish, we ended in about October. Okay, so that was about an 8-month process, and obviously the client was over the moon. Okay, happy with the results. Okay, so that's it. We do this at Malakouti Law. We're a citizenship and immigration firm. For years, we only did this as a service for our own citizenship and immigration clients. And then starting in 2024, we opened up this service. We started offering this as a standalone service. So even if you have a different provider, different lawyer, a lawyer in a foreign country that you're applying for residency or citizenship through, but if you need to evaluate your FBI background check and see if you're eligible to have an item removed, or more often than being removed, sometimes it's just challenging it to get softening language added to show that the case was expunged. That's very common in California, an expungement, or vacated or expuncted, or arrest relief granted. But the bottom line is we can do that. We do that. We do a lot of these types of cases. So if you're interested in that, if this is something you need, feel free to book a consultation with us using the link below in the comment section. So hope that helps. If you like these types of videos related to FBI background checks, I guess you could call it an autopsy or a mini case study, leave a comment below, let us know, and maybe we'll put up another video like this. Thank you.